Madam, on 12 March 2014, Singnet announced that it had acquired the exclusive broadcast rights to the FIFA World Cup 2014. Singnet announced that it would sell the World Cup 2014 content as a standalone channel at $105. Since then, they have offered an early bird price of $88. This early bird price is the same price charged by the pay TV operators for the 2010 World Cup. That's a regular 2010 price. So this year's early bird price is the same as the 2010 regular price. Furthermore, for those who commit to subscribe to the Barclays Premier League, the BPL, content for 2 years to 2016, Singnet will provide the World Cup content at no extra charge. In other words, the average price paid per subscriber for World Cup 2014 will be significantly lower than $88 once we add the subscribers who will obtain it at no additional cost. With cross-carriage, all SCV subscribers will be able to enjoy the World Cup package through their SCV set-top boxes at the same $88 early bird price offered by Singnet. And this is precisely the purpose of the cross-carriage measure, to widen the distribution of exclusive content across all qualified pay TV retailers. Indeed, cross-carriage has been successful in reducing content fragmentation in the Singapore pay TV market. Back in 2010, there were only 7 channels available on both pay TV platforms. Consumers had to install multiple set-top boxes from different retailers to enjoy the content they wanted. Today, there are over 60 channels available on both Singnet's and SCV's platforms. These include entertainment and sports channels like Celestial Movies, National Geographic, Fox Sports, and Star Sports. Pay TV retailers have also shifted their strategy to compete for subscribers on value-added services like mobile apps that allow subscribers to watch TV on the go. From this perspective, the cross-carriage policy has achieved its objectives. The policy has just been introduced, and we will want to continue to review and see how it can be further fine-tuned and improved. I would like to remind members that the intent of cross-carriage is not to regulate content prices. So we should not judge its effectiveness in terms of whether content prices have dropped. In fact, the acquisition and provision of top-level sports content on TV is not just left to market forces alone. The government is committed to ensure that key sporting events, particularly those of national significance, are available to all Singaporeans and not just on pay TV. And this is why MDA supports MediaCorp's provision of sports programming featuring Team Singapore athletes, including the Summer Olympics, the Commonwealth Games, the SEA Games, all of which through Public Service Broadcasting Funding or PSB funding. MDA also puts such events on the anti-siphoning list, and this was updated only last year following a public consultation. An event on the anti-siphoning list means it must be available for free-to-air TV broadcasters to acquire. And I should explain that placing an event on the anti-siphoning list does not mean that the program will be free. It simply means that pay TV retailers cannot acquire the content on an exclusive basis, therefore giving the free-to-air broadcaster an opportunity to acquire these rights. For the World Cup, MDA included 4 key matches, which is the opening, the semi-finals, and the finals in the anti-siphoning list. They also included matches featuring Singapore, Team Singapore, but that's not relevant in our context. So the 4 key matches are the opening, the semi-finals, and the finals. For the upcoming World Cup, Singapore viewers will be able to watch these matches on MediaCorp. And besides the matches on the anti-siphoning list, I also understand that the People's Association is in talks with Singnet to screen the World Cup matches for free at several community centres across the island. Some members have asked for more regulation of subscription prices for sports content. But the key is that content owners like FIFA are not obligated to sell their content at a price they do not agree with. It's not something we welcome, but on this issue we are unfortunately a price taker and not a price setter. We cannot wish away the fact that the cost of premium sports content has been rising globally, not just in Singapore. Broadcasters around the world are paying anywhere from 20% to 40% more for the broadcast rights to the World Cup 2014 compared with the previous edition. Comparisons of subscription prices across different jurisdictions are also inherently fraught, as the operating circumstances in each country are different. There are wide variations in terms of the size of the pay TV market, as well as the potential advertising and sponsorship revenue available to broadcasters. Some have asked why MDA did not put all the World Cup games on the anti-siphoning list. I think rationale is that if you have an overly long list of World Cup matches on the anti-siphoning list, that may lead to unintended consequences. In particular, pay TV operators will then have little incentive to acquire the matches. Instead, the cost burden will then have to be borne largely by the free-to-air broadcaster. Doing so would then divert a significant portion of PSB monies, which are used to support a diverse range of programming covering varied interests and genres, including support for minority channels, as well as programs that promote Singapore's culture and heritage. In conclusion, the MDA has to achieve a delicate balance. It should not be hasty to adopt populist measures that ultimately backfire, leaving consumers even worse off. I would, however, like to assure members that the MDA will continue to review its policies, including cross-carriage, as I mentioned earlier, and the anti-siphoning list. Cross-carriage will be reviewed as part of a larger review of the Media Market Conduct Code later this year. As for the anti-siphoning list, the public was last consulted on this in 2012 and will also be reviewed in due course. And I would encourage members to provide feedback during the review of these policies.